Hello guys and welcome in for today's video where we're going to be discussing the add-on Magic Sorter Furniture Storage Automation by Architectura and maintained by Bartram. This, hands down, is my favorite add-on for housing. With thousands of unique furnishings and with more being added with almost every game update and event and DLC, managing furnishings is a mini-game in and of itself. And this is made especially challenging due to the fact that there's only a few hundred slots for unique furnishings between your inventory, your bank, and your storage coffers. This game has a beautiful diversity of furnishings that players can select from, but when you're not using them in a build for your houses, what do you do with them? And that's where I turn to the add-on Magic Sorter to easily and automatically manage my hoard of thousands of furnishings. And with this easy management of furnishings, you can spend more time enjoying other aspects of ESO rather than playing the inventory management minigame. Now, before we jump into how to use this add-on, I do have a quick disclosure. Magic Sorter has not been updated by the original author since March of 2021, but fortunately, Bartram has been kind enough to update and maintain this add-on in the absence of the original author. To download their updated version, you will first need to navigate to the ESO UI website and find the Magic Sorter Furniture Storage Automation add-on page. From there, select the Comments tab and read the comments until you find a post from Bartram with the newest version. How far back you'll have to go in the comments depends on how far in the future you view this video. So again, we're just looking for a comment from Bartram, and specifically one that mentions a download link. But trust me, this extra step of effort is going to be worth it. And now that you properly have the add-on downloaded, you've extracted it and put it into your add-ons folder, let's cover how to use it. To find the window for using it, you're going to need to go to your inventory. Once in your inventory, you'll see this new option in the bottom middle called Magic Sorter. You can either press F1 or just select the letters Magic Sorter to bring up this page. This page is going to display all of the different houses that you have unlocked. Any house can be used for storage, but I'm going to give this disclaimer here up front. Do not give the add-on Magic Sorter access to houses you do not want it moving furnishings in. So if you have a decorated house, or you have a house that you have sorted how you want and you don't want any help from the add-on, or whatever other reason, do not give Magic Sorter access to a house that you do not want the add-on to move every single furnishing in that place. Now that we've talked about that, let's discuss how you select or deselect different houses. And it's as simple as just clicking on them. Houses you have selected will have this blue outline and be colored in their little preview picture. Houses you have deselected will be grayed out and be dark around the edge. So it's as simple as click or unclick to select houses. Additionally, once you've had this add-on for a while ported to these various houses, you'll then start to see in the top right corner of these little images, there is a number. The first number tells you how many slots are being used in that house, and the second number is telling you the total number of slots available in that house for classic furnishings. So as you see, various houses will have different number of slots available. So keep that in mind when selecting which houses to use for storing your furnishings. But don't discount those little 30 slot apartments. 30 furnishings is 30 furnishings. And most likely you've gotten those for free anyway, so you might as well make use of them if you're not already. Once you've carefully decided which houses you're going to be using for storing your furnishings, you then hit the next button. From there, it takes you to the next stage of selection. You now need to assign which furniture categories are going to go to which of the storage houses. To select, all you need to do is drag a category from the left over to a storage house over on the right. And again, you're going to be able to see how many furnishings are available in that house. And it's also going to list which categories are already in that house. You can put multiple different categories within the same house. And additionally, you can put the same category into multiple houses, such as I could put the option of conservatory in all 24 of my houses. And when a category is in multiple houses, it'll tell you right beside it how many houses it is in. But for my first time through with a lot of these houses, I'm just going through and telling it generally which options are going to go into which houses, and I'm going to adjust this later. The add-on, after it gets done, will give you a feedback of how many slots it did or didn't have available for storing those items. One thing I will make note of is each category, you can generally have an idea of what types of items are going to be in that. So items like suite, which is going to be beds and wardrobes and smaller items like that, as compared to structural, which is going to be large flooring pieces, big walls, that kind of stuff. Keep that in mind when you're selecting which categories go to which houses. While you can store extra large furnishings in a very small house, this does make it a little bit trickier to walk into those houses and just grab those items, but it's not impossible. Just a quick little tip that I recommend keeping in mind. Once you have selected your categories going into which houses, the next thing you're going to do, after you hit the next button, you're going to get this page with a quick little disclaimer talking about what I said before with houses that are not selected will be left untouched, while storage homes, houses that you have selected, are going to have every single item moved in them. And additionally, it makes a quick note about this really helpful tip to make sure to empty your character's inventory as much as possible before starting, because the more inventory spots you have clear, the less time that your character is going to spend porting back from one house to another carrying items, because they can carry more in each load if they have inventory space. And because this is your first time setting new categories and selecting new houses, you're going to want to start a full sort. Now, if you haven't selected any new houses and you haven't adjusted any categories, you've just put some extra items in one of the houses and you want it to resort, you would tell it to do a quick sort. But again, because we've changed either or of selecting new houses, removing houses, or we've changed categories or added new categories, we need to do a full sort. And once you select full sort, let the party begin. This is where the automation kicks in. The add-on is going to port to your various selected houses, scan the furnishings that are in there, determine what does and doesn't follow the categories that you have selected for that house, and move items accordingly. Depending on how many furnishings you have selected, and depending on how many houses you have selected, this could potentially take a while. I'm going to recommend just checking in on it every 10 to 20 minutes and just letting it roll. So to do a full sort through all of my houses does take quite a bit of time. So I usually start this and then I'm just on my way. Now, while this is rolling in the background, let's talk about which houses I like to use for this add-on. My favorite house has to be Cold Harbor Surreal Estate. This is a huge open area that is amazing for storing a ton of furnishings and also storing large furnishings. other houses that all have very similar characteristics, so I'm just going to list them all at the same time. Hunding's Palatial Hall, Old Mistvale Manor, and Sleek Creek House are also houses I recommend to use with this add-on due to the fact that they have a clear open entryway, because this add-on will place the furnishings a small distance from the entryway. And this also has a large area up above for stacking the furnishings higher up if needed. These are my top 4 houses that I recommend to get you started with this add-on, but if you find that you need a few more, other ones I recommend include Autumn's Gate, Barbed Hook Private Room, Black Vine Villa, Boulder Tree Refuge, Cyrodiilic Jungle House, Domus Fraticus, the Ample Domicile, the Gornier Estate, and Twin Arches. Of course, use as many houses as you want, use whichever houses you have available. It does work in every single house. These are the ones I just find easiest to work with my years of using this add-on. So again, you're looking for houses that have a clear, wide open entryway. They're going to be the easiest for working with this add-on and with your furnishings. One thing I will make note of, while I do love large, wide open houses like Cold Harbor Surreal Estate, don't discount smaller little houses like this one for storing your furnishings. 100 slots is 100 slots, and if you have, say, a ton of small candles or urns or other small furnishings that you know will fit into this small little area, use it. That's 100 less slots going to somewhere else. So feel free to try out a variety of houses and see what works best for you. Another tip I have for using this add-on in correlation with don't be afraid to try out smaller houses. For example, in my house, Twin Arches, while the courtyard is very small, there is a lot of area that items can still be placed, but they're technically out of bounds. So as you can see, I've used this house for storage of large trees, but whenever I go to try to retrieve them by just pressing the F5 button and trying to select the items way up in the sky, they are way out of my reach. I cannot get them. So instead, you're going to need to go to the Browse tab and go to the Retrieve section. And from there, you'll be able to see all your items. If you click on them, you'll get a preview of them. And then if you want to grab them from this retrieve function, you can either right click to put it right in your inventory or E to just modify and then look at it and then decide if you want to put it in your inventory. But yep, if there is not space in the reachable area, the add-on will place items out of bounds, and therefore the only way to retrieve them is going to be using the F5 retrieve function. And that is my coverage on how to download this add-on and how to use it. And I hope you all have way more fun doing housing now, that you don't need to micromanage all of your furnishings and can instead spend more time doing other activities you have fun with in the Elder Scrolls Online. Do not download this add-on via Minion. You're going to get the wrong version of it. You're again going to need to go directly to the website and manually download it. So keep that in mind. Also check that if you're using this add-on and then it stops working. Again, you're not going to be able to update it via Minion. You're going to have to go to that web page to update it. But trust me, I find this add-on to be totally worth it. And I am so grateful that there are still people who maintain this add-on so that others can enjoy it. And if you have any questions or want any tips, feel free to comment down below. Do my best to answer them. But when in doubt, again, going and checking that comment section, see if there's any bugs there, is going to be your best bet for technical advice. And if you have a favorite house for storing your furnishings that I didn't comment about, feel free to pop it down below. There are so many different houses in this game, just like there are so many unique furnishings. that I would love to see what your guys' favorites are. And if you have another add-on that you feel is not getting nearly enough love, make sure to comment down below. I'm trying to expand what add-ons I learn about to improve my quality of life in the Elder Scrolls Online. Thank you all so much for joining me today. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a like and consider subscribing so that you stay up to date on the newest notifications. And if you want to hang out with us live, we're over on Twitch multiple days a week. Nothing else, thank you all so much for hanging out with us today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye!